Hello, boys and girls. I was wondering if anybody remembers how to use one of these here. One of these calculators. If any of you know how to jot down a little information here. Use a little paper, a little pencil. Wonder if any of you know how to do the math. So, this is just something that nobody figured out, but it's like plain as day, like writing on the wall. Well, let me fill you in if you don't already know. There's about three kinds of people. There's people that make things happen. The people watch what happens. And then there's a third group. People's like, what the fuck happened? Don't be one of those last two. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna fill you guys in on a little secret here. Basic math. Alright? Now, you guys have the opportunity to take advantage of this situation. Now, I already took care of this situation many, many years ago, but the reason I bring this up is because you guys have a crossroads right now. You've got a very limited time of opportunity. Very short little segment of time. Like I said, I already took advantage of the situation. Now it's your turn. Now, if you can understand basic principles and basic writing on the paper, do a little calculation on the little calculator. Do a little basic math. Alright. Now that we got that over with, let me tell you what I'm talking about. Back in 2020, plans were set in place for things to happen that the general population had no fucking clue, alright? Now, keep your ears open, listen, and watch. Alright, I'm talking about Tesla, right there, black and white, Tesla. They were in the process, making a couple factories, alright? And the general population didn't realize they were taking all this money in, raising all this money. General population thought, well, building all these factories, making all these cars for the common man. That's the plan, right? Not the plan at all. They were taking all that money in, taking all that cash in to create robots. Create robots, you say? Yeah, create robots. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Alright. Back in the early 2020s, Tesla started making all kinds of cars, right? Made a Model S, made a few bucks, made a Model X, made a few bucks, made a Model 3, made quite a few bucks. And then they came out with like a Tesla truck and blah, 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 blah. All these cars. Yeah, yippity, yip, yeah. Well, next thing they were planning, they didn't tell nobody about. They came up with a smaller car that they could make for $25,000. At this time, they had $20 billion in their account. And all they needed to do was raise enough money and get this little thing out to production. And little did people know, after this happened, they wouldn't need anybody. Pay attention, they won't need anybody. Let me tell you how this worked. Well, when you produce a $25,000 car or cheaper, that's retail now. They were making this car for a lot less. So, when that happens, And those robotaxis went online later that year, 2021. Okay, wholesale cost and labor were around $15,000 on each of these robotaxis. Well, they turned those on, and every single one of those cars was capable of making $50,000 by themselves. That seems like a lot of money, but it's really not if you think about it. Each car, which could operate up to 20 hours a day and charge about 4 hours or less, which means each one of those cars is operating 20 hours a day. All right. If you take $50,000 per year, okay, and you divide it out, if you do the calculations correctly, each one of those cars is operating 20 hours per day, right? And you divide it out, that's $136 per day, okay? And you take that and divide it out, that's $6.85 an hour. That's not much, right? Each one of those cars can easily make $6.85 an hour. But if you add it up, 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, that equals $50,000. So, now that car is making $50K, how long will it take for that little car to pay for itself wholesale? Let's say Tesla only paid about, they got about $15K wrapped up in that car. Well, the first 30 days, they don't even have to pay the supplier. So actually, that first 30 days is a wash because they're making cash and they're not putting out. So take 50K or 15K divided by if that car is making $6.85 an hour. How many hours is that going to take to pay off that 15K? 2,189.78 hours. Okay? Now you take that same scenario and you divide it by 20. Because it can work 20 hours a day. Okay. That comes into 109.48 days, which is approximately 3.64 months to pay off that little car. And you got to remember, that first month they're not even being charged because all their suppliers give them 30, 60, 90 days to pay off the materials. All they're doing is paying for labor. So in all actuality, it's possible that that car could pay for itself before that bill even comes in. Be real close, real close. So, as you can see, this is going to be a snowball effect. All you have to do, all Tesla has to do, is start that production process. Start that production process. And if they can get real close to 30 days turnaround, and that first month is free, they don't need us anymore. They don't need to sell any more cars. Every car they make is going to make them more money than they can if they sell it. So what's that mean? Well, this is about the closest thing to printing money that you can get. Besides, they're basically the Federal Reserve. Tesla is going to start printing money. Printing money. They got plenty of cash, so even if they need to overfill a little bit and pay a little their side chunk change right there to get it rolling, and who knows? They would, did they do another cash raise, another $5 billion? How many cars can they make for $5 billion? Okay, next scenario here. Say this process goes ahead and starts. Once this plant is up and running, and it's reaching full capacity, this is just one car. This isn't anything else but this one individual car. Say they can go up to production scale which is a smaller car, easier to make, less batteries, less parts, blah, 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 blah. It'll be easy. If they can make a Model S or Model X, 7,000 a week, Model 3, 7,000 a week, what makes you think they can't make this car 7,000 a week? The thing probably won't even have, it didn't even have a steering wheel. Didn't have no brakes or nothing. It was just an empty fuselage with a couple batteries and some tires and a computer chip. 7,000 cars a week times 50 weeks. Give those robots 2 weeks off to take a break and get retooled. You know what I'm saying? That's 350,000 cars times $50,000. Boys and girls, you got to do this on paper, because this calculator, if you times, let's try this out here. Let me use my pen because it's too thick. Got to wear these gloves from counting all this cash. 350,000 times 50, 1, 2, 3, 1,000 equals. As you can see, the calculator can't even figure out that number. And that's only 1 year. As the years progressed, they made more cars, and those cars paid for more cars, and those cars paid for more cars. They didn't even have to worry about selling the cars to the consumer anymore. This number, just from the first year, boys and girls, after all these cars are on the road, that's a big frickin' number. So anyway, if you could invest in a company that printed money and didn't need anybody to buy their product, what would that company be worth? You think that stock might go up a little bitty bit? Or it might go this way a little bitty bit? And if the future is electric vehicles, and the future is self-driving vehicles, and the future is people paying and not having their own car, and basically making all kinds of money from robotaxis, where would you put your money in the future? Anyway, thanks for watching, and you might want to put your money where my mouth is. Have a great day, and remember, listen to the old folks. They might teach you a thing or two.